Hello everybody and welcome back to Manifested Finesse on YouTube. My name is Manifesting Gaia. That is my Twitter, TikTok, podcast, and Instagram. All the links are down below, and my affirmations list and audio rampage emails down below. And my master manifestation workshop with programs, ebooks, workshops, PDF guides, and a new master manifestation in 30 days guide is down below. And today we're going to be talking about everybody's you pushed out. I was going to make this a membership channel video. Subscribe to my membership channel if you haven't. I was like, you know what? It's going to be more centered around people not having free will. I feel like that's why I wanted to make it a main channel video, because I feel like people are not understanding, okay? Or they forget. Basically, people don't have free will. They have to show up how you assume, because you cannot help but have assumptions about everybody in your reality. So as long as you have an assumption about somebody, you have now conformed them to show up how you're showing up. So a couple things. People always ask, what about strangers? What if somebody's mean to me in public? What if I've been affirming that everybody treats me amazingly and somebody's mean to me in public? Here's my thing. Outside of everybody's you pushed out, and this is going to be my next membership channel video. I don't know if it's up now or not, but y'all don't know what change means. Change is not still seeking validation from 3D. Y'all have got to learn to stick to your story no matter what, or you will never have what you're saying you have. I don't care what happens in 3D. If one thing happening in 3D is enough to make you say my story isn't working or doubt yourself, you are not stable and you need to work on yourself. So I don't care. I don't care if you affirm your love. I don't care if you affirm that you're spoiled by everybody in your reality and you're attracting so many providers and you attract another bum. This is why. It's because you're not even stable enough. You don't believe what you're saying. And you sure as hell don't believe what you're saying if you're still waiting for 3D to give it to you before you accept it as yours. Stop making 3D a fact. Number 2, stop taking things personal. Like, this is the big issue, is people are always looking at things like something's wrong with me. This is why self-concept is so important. Oh my God. I want y'all to have some self-worth and self-validation so bad. Do you think, and I rarely get hate comments because I don't have this video, and I know a lot of content creators in the space who have the story that people are so mean on social media and they get hella hate comments. What do you think I do? Or not even my content, even if I'm scrolling on social media and I see somebody hate on one of my mutuals or another coach that I know, or just a celebrity in general. Do you know what my first impression is every time? This person is so insecure. Like, there is something severely wrong with them. They need therapy. I love psychology, so I'm always relating things to childhood and stuff. Like, they did not get attention. Oh my God, they want attention that they did not receive from their parents, which is why they're rebelling on social media. Because back in the day, it was just you would rebel in public. Like, you would get arrested. Now, it's easier with social media. You just leave a hate comment to get attention. You want somebody to feel the way that you're feeling. Especially when people don't, they get even more mad. Because they're like, how are people not as miserable as me? It's not fair. That's what I think. I don't think, oh my God, user 1234567 said XYZ about me. I guess it's true. Not only should 3D never be your validation, but neither should what other people say. So the fact that you're even taking one interaction and saying, what's wrong with me? Why are they doing this to me? And victimizing yourself already tells me all I need to know. But number 3, what video did I say this in? I think my last video. The desire doesn't change just because 3D changed or 3D did something. If I'm saying to myself, I only have good interactions with people, or I'm so loved everywhere I go, people treat me so amazing, when I have a bad interaction with someone, how I would take that is they're having a bad day. That's them. We're not making it, oh my God, what happened? I've been affirming. Affirmations and manifesting are not synonyms. You could affirm all day, but look at your mindset the second something happens in 3D. You need something more than affirmations. You need self-concept. But, okay, so how that relates to everybody's you pushed out. I always say this all the time. One thing about it is y'all heard about manifesting and just overcomplicate it so much. Relax. Not everything is so black and white. You are not the first person who existed on Earth. And you have not known, especially when it comes to SPs or people you're trying to change, you have not known a single person since the day you were born, every single second of the day. So yes, the world is you pushed out when you start attaching your assumptions to them, but people have their own upbringings. They have their own experiences. They have their own beliefs. They have their own childhood. They've had their own relationships or traumas or whatever. And Bashar has talked about this because people are just not getting it. They're like, are people robots then? People have their own realities that have made them who they are. So if somebody is emotionally unavailable, if somebody has anger issues or something, especially upon meeting them, it's because that's who they are. Before you add your assumptions to them, that's who they are. But the second you add your own assumptions and meanings to them. The second you're like, oh, that's who they are, period. They have anger issues and they're never changing. That's when you start manifesting it. That's when it becomes you pushed out. Because now for the rest of your life, until you change the story, you're going to see them that way. So now they have no choice but to show up that way. But okay, let's just say who they are, they have anger issues, right? But you in your head say, no, I'm not accepting that. They can be really nice to me. They're just mad. They're just hurt. But they're going to find a way to be really nice. They're going to find a way to get over these anger issues. And you keep persisting in that, you're sure. I know that they're going to heal from whatever they're going through. That's also you pushed out. So when they start to conform in that way, it'll be because of you.
What about people that you don't really directly interact with? They're just like strangers passing by.
It's all an orchestration. As you said, there are no accidents.
Or are they real? Are they real, or are they just like robots? Or
all right, let's explain this again.
okay.
It is all real and it is all an illusion. It is not this or that. It is this and that. But the way you interact with people is by creating your version of them in your reality so that you can see them. Otherwise, you wouldn't be seeing them. They'd be invisible to you. They are interacting with you. You are interacting with them, but you're interacting with them through a simulation that you've created in your reality. Does that make sense?
It's like the equivalent of when people are always talking about how amazing somebody is, whether it's a coworker, a teacher, and they're like, this person's so amazing, they're so nice. And you're like, they're not nice to me. They're literally the rudest person to me. I've done nothing to them, or vice versa. People are always like, I don't like this person. And you're like, that's crazy because they're so nice to me. That's you pushed out. They show up differently for you because your stories are different. So that's what that means. It's not that, oh my God, every single person in the world has to be the best person in the world. First of all, y'all don't even have that assumption. A lot of y'all always assume the worst anyways. Like, y'all don't have the story that every single person in the world is the best person ever. Y'all don't have the story that men are so sweet or women are so loyal and so deep. I don't even understand why y'all are confused in the first place. And the fact that you're able to just 3D can throw anything in your face and you accept it also tells me why that happens. It's because you don't know how to have your own stories outside of what shows up in front of your face. So now the free will conversation comes in, because if that's the case, and here's my thing is, y'all need to test these things out too. So I don't know, take a person you don't have resistance to, like take a parent, take a sibling, and do something that's not too bizarre, but to the point where if it happens, you know that you manifested it. So I don't know, if your mom used to call you a pet name or something when you were a child and she stopped calling you it, like if she used to call you pumpkin, right? And she stopped calling you it and she hasn't called you it in like a decade, just start saying she calls you that again. Or your sibling. A YouTuber I like to watch is going to post in this color shirt. Nothing too crazy, right? It shouldn't be something that you have to persist in to convince yourself. So if you find yourself, oh my God, I have to persist, and then you're in 3D like, oh my God, they're not doing it, do a different person, do a different desire. It should not be something where that's you. It should be chill as hell. So I would say a parent, a sibling, a best friend, like somebody where you feel you know them so much to the point where it's like, I can assume anything about them, you know? You'll see what I'm talking about. If you do that, you'll see what I'm talking about. I'm sure you've had instances, but I want y'all to do it this time consciously. But okay, this is where the free will topic comes in, right? Because if people are only reflections of these stories that you have, then they don't have the free will. Like, they cannot go against your stories. Whenever I hear somebody be like, oh my God, every single relationship I've been in, I've been cheated on. Every single friend I've ever had has like took my partner away from me. When I hear stuff like that, like every single relationship, this has always happened. Every single friend, and it's bad things. I'm like, first of all, it's not even normal for that to happen one time, let alone every single time. That's literally what no free will means. Obviously, like when we're on earth, we're very 3D oriented. So we think people have control. This is why we say manifestation is on all the time and you've been manifesting your own life. Because whether you're privy to it or not, you've always had assumptions. And that's why that has always happened. So people don't have free will for that reason. In the same sense where it's like, okay, even if you've had a friend like that, right? Like this friend, every single time I say I like somebody or I'm in a relationship or I'm getting to know somebody, they always go to the friend, whether the friend comes in and takes them or the person is just attracted to your friend naturally. You change that story, that won't happen no more. Well, okay, let's take it in the sense that the person is doing a certain action, because this is about their free will. They will not do that thing no more. And like I said, do it for something so mundane that you know somebody does and manifest it to be different. Like something so small, like, oh my God, this girl cannot live without her coffee in the morning. Safe, she stops getting coffee. She stops drinking. She's done drinking coffee. And for the last 7 years, she's got a coffee every single day. With every single meal, she drinks a coffee. She's done. She's done. She will be done. because she does not have free will. The only thing that's been keeping her coffee addiction alive is you have the story that this girl has a coffee addiction. That's your assumption, what you believe, what you've convinced yourself of. That's why they show up that way. So people don't have free will because you can only experience the world with your consciousness, right? Consciousness creates, awareness creates. So the only will that people have is the will that you give them. This also goes into, oh, can somebody take away what I want? Can somebody manifest this? No, unless you give them that will. Nobody can take any person, any money, any job, anything away from you or take it from you. The only reason that would happen, and it's always the same type of person that happens to, they have no type of self-worth. It was not stamped in their mind that this thing is mine, right? There was always the fear that somebody can take it from me. But in a general sense, nobody can do anything without your permission. And if you're manifesting a specific person, like whether it's romantic, it's career-wise, it's family-wise, it's friend-wise, you have to always remind yourself of that. They don't have free will. So when you're affirming, this person's texting me, this person's reaching out to me, our friendship is being fixed, you have to remind yourself they don't have the free will to reject the story. So I'm not even worried about that's why we're never getting people to do things. We're changing our stories of them and ourselves and our dynamic with them. But you never have to, they're doing this, they have to follow stories because they're reflections. They're you pushed out. Then people be asking, so how do I get people to, that's what I just said, you're not getting anybody to do anything. And everybody's you pushed out or people have no free will or whatever is not something that is off and you turn on. It is already working. The issue is you have to see the person as being capable of that. You have to see that version of them as existing, as the one that you're receiving. A lot of y'all, and this ties into self-concept because, and that's another thing, is people are reflections. You are not going to be able to see the world or somebody higher than you see yourself. If you don't see yourself as loved, worthy, and chosen, and you have an issue that your specific person is not committing to you, well, that should already tell you it's because you don't see yourself as worthy of that. But also, you're not going to be able to see yourself as that person doing that, because when we say manifesting a person, you are just manifesting yourself. You're manifesting a different version of yourself. People are just reflections. So if you're manifesting somebody to love you, you're manifesting this. You're manifesting your own self-love. You're manifesting seeing yourself as lovable, because if you have the story that you're not lovable, you're not going to be able to attach the assumptions that they see you as love, because it's not going to make sense to you. You're going to be like, how it's like when y'all compare yourself to other people when it comes to romantic or anything. You're like, well, she's this, she's that. Oh, he's better than me. He has this, she has this. Yeah. So if you can't even see yourself as the one and you see yourself as this person's going to look at that person before they look at me, why would they not do that when you're in control? So you have to focus on your self-concept and change the stories that you are loved, you are wanted, you are chosen, you are valued, you are irresistible, you are number one. Assuming we've done that, from there, it should be a walk in the park for you to assume that version of them. Like, okay, in the reality where you were with them, if you have the desired version of them, what they be like? They would love you unconditionally. They would choose you. They would prioritize you. They would always take you out. They would introduce you to their family and friends. And you're like, okay, I had that version of them. Like, they seem so good. I love them. I want that. I want that version of them. Then you persist in that version of them. Okay, that's who they are. That's who I'm receiving. This is the reality that I live in, where this person showing up as XYZ, XYZ. I'm not accepting any other version. And if a version of them shows up in reality that you don't like, that's one of infinite versions of them. I'm not accepting it, because the second, like I said, stop taking it personal. The second you make it personal, you make it about you. And the second you make it about you and your identity, it becomes who you are. So if they're not showing up how I want, that's not the desired version of them. So that's not the version for me, because in my reality, my friend, my person, my man, my daughter, my whoever is showing up doing XYZ, XYZ. That's why I love them so much, is because they do XYZ, XYZ. And then you persist. And then that's how people start shifting, right? You know, man, it's a lot of little things like with everybody's you pushed out. Like, people have the story where it's like, well, everybody else is doing it except for this person. That's why. That is why. Y'all don't have that story from nobody else. Stop being confused. You pedalize this person so much to the point where you can't even hear yourself when you're literally detaching them from everybody else. But number two, that's also probably why. It's because you pedalize the person for so long. This is why I hate these other creators for y'all. Because a lot of these other creators, they'll just say self-concept is about self. I love myself. I'm beautiful. No, self-concept is also, I already have a video on this, self-concept in 3 parts, but self-concept is also how you see that thing in that area of your life. Some people, they can know their worth and value and being chosen when it comes to other people, anybody else in the world, but for this one person, they're nobody. That's the issue. So if for so long you were in your mind nobody when it came to this person, and you're recreating yourself, recreating your stories of others, other people are going to start reflecting it. naturally, because that's how the world works. Like, I always say this to y'all. 1 second it's I want movement, I don't get movement. The next second it's all I'm getting is movement. First of all, because you cannot force movement. It is natural. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't, because it don't matter. You should be saying the new story regardless. So you should be saying the new story regardless. I don't get you people. 1 second it's crying because you don't have movement, then the next second it's crying because all you're getting is movement. Like, this is why we say stop focusing on the movement. Whether you have it or not, y'all are going to keep messing it up if that's what your focus is. Anyways, that's bound to happen anyways. You're the center of your reality. This is literally what everybody's you pushed out means. People are reflecting it because the world is you pushed out. People are you pushed out. They don't have free will. And this is where perspective comes in. Like, instead of viewing it as everybody else is doing it except for this person, view it as if everybody else is doing it, this person can too. Everybody else is doing it, my person is not excluded. Everybody else is doing it, including my person. Change the stories. And something else that I always tell y'all with everybody's you pushed out, just see everybody as being in your favor. It does not matter if it takes one person or a million people. You have to see 8 billion people as being in your side. I want this specific person. I want money. I want a job. I want this health condition to go away. I want this school acceptance. Every single person that's involved in your desire will aid you. So you want an SP, their best friends are telling them to be with you. You want acceptance into the school, the whole board of the school is literally reviewing your application and telling the dean that you're the best option. Whatever you want, people are assisting you. You have to see the whole world as being on your side. Every single person in this world wants me to have what I want, and they're all assisting me. Whoever needs to move is moving in the way that I need them to move so that I can have what I want, period. It's the same thing with behaviors. If somebody's been the same way for so long, it's because you've had that story. So you really have to go back and break everything from the ground up, rebuild everything, rebuild yourself, rebuild your story of them, rebuild the story of your dynamic. With anything manifesting, you're going to have a tough time if you're trying to force people to be different. As long as your validation is 3D, you're never going to succeed. I don't care what they're doing, what they're not doing. Stay true to the new story and keep persisting and know they must change. The problem with y'all is y'all have no backbone. Y'all will persist and not even think what you're persisting for is going to happen. Stop doing that. You're wasting your time. If you're just going to go back and say they're not going to change your self-concept to the point where it is inevitable. Anything you want must change, period. Because with anything manifesting, everybody's you pushed out, free will, it all comes with you seeing yourself in control. It all comes with you seeing those things, everything I just said is true. It's really that simple, y'all. People are showing up as reflections of the stories you have of them. Second, we start adding assumptions to people. We are manifesting the ways that they're showing up. Oh, I remember what I wanted to talk about. So this whole thing of, oh my God, if I'm manifesting SP, for example, because people will be acting so different when it comes to SP. If I do it for a boss, it's fine. My parent, it's fine. But romance, it's like this whole weird thing of I'm forcing them, right? When I hear that, I already know you definitely already have issues with believing you're worthy of love or to be liked, because that's why people act so, oh my God, when it comes to romance, money, is because of the stories that society has surrounded around it. Y'all have to learn the law of polarity. For like every decision you make, there is an opposite outcome. I'm forcing SP to be with me if I start manifesting them, which is just selecting the version of them that likes me and saying that's the only person who I'm going to entertain, is like forcing them to be with me. Then in not doing that, not selecting that identity that likes you, you're forcing them to not be with you. If you're saying, okay, I'm not going to say that they like me, you're by default saying they don't like me, and you're forcing them to not be with you. So you can't be like, oh, if I affirm I'm forcing them to be with me, when all in your mind, the inner conversations you have in your mind are, they don't like me, they don't want me, they don't choose me, they don't think I'm attractive. That's a manifestation. That's the identity of them you keep selecting. That's who you think to be true when it comes to them. Y'all gotta have the same energy. If it's forcing them to be with you, then you're also forcing them to not be with you. Because you cannot escape people being you pushed out. You cannot escape. You have assumptions. The second you had your first assumption about your specific person is the second you started manifesting them. Favorable or not favorable, there is no difference. Oh my God. So you cannot escape you manifesting them to do or be someone. If you're already doing it and you have the desire for it to be in your favor, do it in your favor. Second of all, you're not forcing them to do anything. There's already a version of you that's with them, the same version of you that you want to be, the same version of you that you wish you were. It already exists. And they already want to be with you. I always tell y'all this when it comes to manifesting specific people or anything but specific people. They already want to be with you. The only reason they're not coming forward is because you are forcing them to stay away from you. Anytime we try to say, okay, they want to be with you, you're like, no, this circumstance, this. You're literally forcing them to not be with you. So it's not even that you're making them do anything. If anything, you're forcing yourself. You are forcing yourself to become somebody new, because the version of you that would be with them is a whole different version of you than you are now. So it has nothing to do with a specific person. It is not manipulative to tell yourself good stories about somebody. My thing is, you are already doing it. Like, you know how many people who don't know about conscious manifesting but are manifesting new suitors every single day? They're manifesting everybody to be in love with them. That's how I got down before the law of assumption. I already worked on myself. I already have a video on how I worked on my self-concept before LOA, but I already worked on it so bad. I was getting suitors left and right, and then I kept persisting that story. Everybody's me pushed out. They came. I always had the story that whoever I likes me back, because it's impossible for you to not like me back. So people are already doing it. Are you saying people who don't know that they're consciously doing it but are doing it are still unconsciously forcing people to be with them? No. Stop overthinking. Stop making everything negative. How can you take something that is good and make it negative? If you want to be with a specific person, manifest them. Start changing your stories about yourself and them. If you don't want to be with them, don't manifest them. It's not that hard. That's what it is. You're not taking anybody's free will because they don't have it. And second of all, if you manifested them in, they would be happy to be with you. They would be the ones asking you to be with them. Why would they ask you to do something you don't want them to do? It's so crazy to me that y'all say that, but then at the same time also question if you can have them. Like, y'all don't think it's taking away their free will, because 9 out of 10, if you're that limited in thinking, you're probably limited in manifesting too. You probably would struggle anyways because you have a low self-concept. You're just finding any reason to not be with them because you have a low self-concept. So change your self-concept. They already want to be with me. Visualize you guys are already together. If you can see something like that, that means it already exists. How could you visualize something that does not physically exist? It's because it does exist in a reality where you know your worth and value. So yeah, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Very, very simple. Just keep up with your assumptions about people and things, especially if you want them to be favorable. But with that being said, that is all I have for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, you can have anything you want in this universe. Nothing's too big, small, wide, or expensive. I believe in you. You should believe in you. And I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye.